Guess what? I am back. Holy shit. It's been like 2 months. I'm not going to promise you that it's not going to be long before the next video. I kept saying I'm going to do these quicker and I don't. And now it's been the longest it's ever been. So, got no excuses. Life gets busy. But I've been wanting to do this a lot. So I haven't lost the passion for it. Just haven't been able to do it. So, anyway, this is a new stuff video. I've got a pile of new shit I've picked up over the last several weeks. So we'll talk about that, and I'll get back into doing the collection videos soon. We're in the M's with CDs, with the CD collection. So anyway, got a bunch of new stuff. Life's been good. Been working, living, doing lots of yard work lately. The spring always seems to call for that, so we've been getting our yard looking nice. Been recording. We'll talk about that in a minute. Some stuff we've been working on. But let's get into it. First, we're listening to the new Lord Gore. Scalpels for Blind Surgeons. So I've talked about Lord Gore before in the collection video. I've probably listened to them in the background before. Their second album, Resickened, I fucking love. It's probably my second favorite thing that Razorback ever put out. Just a nasty fucking dirty gore grind record. And that record came out 15 years ago. So never thought they'd do anything. They got back together. They put this out last year. I am listening to it for the very first time right now. I think I listened to a song when they first announced it, but I went through one of those things where I listened to nothing but Resickened for a week, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy the new one. So I actually bought, let me get it out here. I bought the LP from Everlasting Spew Records, and they sent me the CD as well, which is awesome of them. Shout out to Tito and Giorgio. So I got this version on, like, you know, sewer waste, you know, biohazard vinyl. Looks awesome. I got this, I don't know, a week ago. I haven't listened to it yet. Like I said, I'm just listening to the CD for the first time. Insert with shit. There's no lyrics with this. There were lyrics with the other albums, and they are fucking disgusting. So I'm sure that this follows the same fashion. But Lord Gore's fucking sick. And Maniac Neil, he's been in a bunch of bands. Frightmare, Blood Freak. I said that Resickened is my second favorite record that Razorback ever put out. Well, Frightmare is bringing back the Bloodshed as my first, and I've talked about that one at length. So anyway, that's Lord Gore. They're fucking awesome. So let's get into it. I got some tapes. First, I picked up the new Exhumed album recently on tape. Horror. Check that out. That just looks fucking rad. So, I like Exhumed. I have all their albums on CD. But when I saw this cassette version, I had to have it. It just looked cool. The new record's all kind of horror-themed, horror movie, VHS 1980s themed. So that's what they made the cover look like. And the tape is really well, everything's really well designed. If you like Exhumed, you'll like this. It's not as melodic as the last one was. The songs are really fast and grindy. Most songs are a minute or so. But it's great, man. There's like 15 tracks on it. It fucking kills. So, Headsplit put this out. I also picked up Pulpit Sycophants from Prosanctus and Fairy. Red Tape. It's just a simple 4-song demo. So Prosanctus, I go way back with. This came out on Nuclear War Now. Prosanctus, when Father Befouled played our first show back in 2008, Prosanctus was on the bill as well, and we had been in touch via the internet a little bit. We were MySpace friends. And so we hooked up at that show and partied and played the show together. And me and Jake became good friends. Jake's the guitar player and vocalist of that band. We ended up needing a bass player in Father Befouled, so he joined as our bass player and played bass for us for about 5 years. And he would just travel, because I was in Georgia and he was in Ohio, so we'd travel back and forth. But it was great having Jake in the band. He's a very good friend of mine. We played up in Kentucky a couple of years ago, and he came down to the show, and we hung out, and it was a lot of fun. Anyway, Pro Sanctus has been quiet since like 2014 or something, and they put out this demo recently as a teaser to their new album, which is about to drop. I actually got the promo for it in my email yesterday. I haven't listened to it yet, but this stuff's good. It's not as chaotic sounding as the older Pro Sanctus. If you've never heard Pro Sanctus in Theory, they're kind of like a touch Angel Corpse, a touch Profanatica, really riffy black death metal, but very, very deliberate in what they write. There's no filler. Jake is just a fucking riff machine. They're a two-piece. They were a three-piece for a while, but they're a two-piece. Jeremy's the drummer, has been the drummer for years and years. But it sounds fucking sick. It's a little more restrained. It's a little more brutal sounding. But I'm looking forward, based on it, I'm looking forward to hearing the full length. Fucking love those dudes. So then, my buddy Jan from Triumphant Cadaver Records sent me some tapes. We did a trade. And I got these 3 tapes. Moon Labyrinth, Serpent Lore, and Sperm Angel. So I have not opened Sperm Angel yet, but I hope it sounds like what you would want a band called Sperm Angel to sound like. So, Serpent Lore, this release is actually pretty old. I want to say it was recorded back in like the 90s, 1998. And it's South American black death metal. I listened to this once the other day, and I don't remember a lot about it. It's called Brandishing Damnation Sword, but this is a new re-release that Triumphant Cadaver put out. Then Moon Labyrinth. So Moon Labyrinth is a black metal band split between, I want to say, the United States and another country. I don't remember. I'll have to put it in the, I'll put it on the screen. But this is just nasty, grim, black and white black metal. I really, really enjoyed it. I listened to it the other day while I was working. It is excellent. This is called Lair of the Witch. 2018, 2 members. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick. So, Pro Tapes, white tape. So then, the last tape I've got is the new Occulst release, Ceremonial Lifelessness. Occulst is my band. Me and Ken Parker from, look him up, Ken's been in a bunch of fucking bands. And he sings, and then Jared Moran, who's also been in a bunch of fucking bands, who I know via Hollowed Idols. We have been doing this band Occulst for the past couple of years. I put out a demo, and then I was considering this more an EP. It's 5 songs. Unholy Domain put it out. I just got these tapes in the mail the other day. But it's death metal. It's old school death metal. I hate saying that, but it's definitely geared towards sounding like something that was, you know, from the 90s. But I've got a few copies of this I'm going to put up on our Occulst Bandcamp page soon. I'll drop a link below. But if you like old nasty death metal, you might like this. We are currently recording a full length. All of the music is probably 99% done. Jared did the drums about a month ago. I've been doing guitars and bass. And Ken is going to start the vocals soon. 10 songs. There's a big, like, crematory demigod vibe to it. Just old, nasty black or death metal is what we're going for. Riffy. I really, really like it. I'm really proud of what we've written, and I'm looking forward to people hearing it. So hopefully, Unholy Domain's going to do the tape version. It'll be a full length. It's not a demo or anything. And we're looking for a CD someone to put the CD out. So be on the lookout for that soon. Okay, records. I've only got a couple of records. Lord Gore, showed you that one. Next, I picked up Journey Through a Body by Throbbing Gristle. I have known about Throbbing Gristle and liked Throbbing Gristle for a really, really, really long time, probably since I was 16 or 17 years old. I read about them in an Integrity interview, probably in 1997. And I knew that they were this noisy electronic industrial act. And I've listened to them throughout the years. I have a bunch of stuff I've downloaded, but I've never bought any of their material. I finally changed that and I picked this up. This was the last official studio recording that Throbbing Gristle made in 1981. And it is just dreary and drony and eerie and creepy industrial music. But I fucking love it. I like this kind of stuff in the background when I'm working or I'm packing orders or, you know, doing something where I'm not engaged in the music. It's definitely a mood record. But really, really glad I picked this up. It's an official re-release. Mute Records put it out. I bought it from the Mute store recently. Printed inner sleeve with pictures of the studio session. Everything was improvised on this record, which is really cool. It's on silver vinyl. Killer band. Rest in peace to Genesis Porridge, who recently died of cancer. Genesis was the kind of spearhead of this particular group for many, many years. So anyway, Journey Through a Body, it's excellent if you like that kind of stuff. Okay, then I picked up the new Hyperdontia 7-inch. You've heard me talk about Hyperdontia over and over again. This is a new 7-inch, excreted from the flesh. 2 songs, just fucking killer death metal. Hyperdontia sits somewhere between like Deicide and Demigod, just riffy, fucking brutal death metal. This is 2 new songs. I haven't listened to this yet. I just got it. It took like over a month to get here. I ordered it from the band directly. I also got a shirt with that art on the front, which is fucking awesome. And they're fixing to release a CD version of this with 2 covers on it, which is gonna be really cool. I'll probably pick that up too. But I love this fucking band. They are killer. Father Befouled, my band, we're playing at Killtown. And Hyperdontia is playing as well in Copenhagen. I can't wait for that. Okay, I've got a bunch of CDs. So let's get into them. I'm going to group them together how I got them here. So first, these 3 I picked up from Crusader Productions. Crusader, of course, is a label run by a buddy of mine that we have put out. Father Befouled did a reissue of our first album with Crusader, and the recent live album we did, the CD release, was on Crusader. So I finally jumped in and bought Infestor, To the Depths in Degradation album. There's several versions of this out there. This particular one is a double CD with their 7-inch as well. So there's 2 CDs here. And it says not to be sold outside the European Union. So there must be some kind of deal with different people releasing it. Anyway, I've long heard Infestor's name dropped whenever you're talking about old, obscure American death metal. And I have listened to this record in the past and never really put much into it. But it just never clicked with me the way that I thought it would based on people's recommendations. But then the 7-inch, the Darkness Unveiled 7-inch, I listened to recently and fucking loved it. So when finding a copy of that's kind of difficult, it's expensive. But when I saw that this version had both releases, I snatched it up. I definitely like the 7-inch material better than I do the album. I don't care for the vocals on the album. They're real muffled, and they're forced, like he couldn't quite get as low as he wanted to, compared to how guttural and, you know, bellowy they are on the 7-inch material. And the songs just seem to meander and like they were making it up as they go along, which they very well could have been doing. It's definitely like an atmospheric record. Like, you listen to the record as a whole instead of song to song, riff to riff. It's an immersive record, and I like it for that reason. But I definitely like the more straightforward 7-inch material. So, but I'm glad to have this. Then I picked up Drawn and Quartered, Hail Infernal Darkness. I love this band. They're related to Infestor as they shared a drummer. Infestor, of course, early 90s. Drawn and Quartered got together in the late 90s. This is their second or third album, and it's the one that I have always been most familiar with. Cruciator has, I want to say, all of their full lengths available now, but I couldn't buy them all, so I picked the one I liked the best. When I formed Father Befouled, I listened to this album a lot. And then the follow-up, Merciless Hammer of Lucifer, I listened to a lot. I have a copy of it. But it's just riffy, fucking nasty death metal. The way death metal should be played. It's fucking great. And this band does not get their just due. You never hear people talk about them. They really, really, really need more of a following than they've gotten over the past 20-something years. So, fucking love Drawn and Quartered. Then, I'm always one that can't just, especially when I'm ordering international, I want to make it worth it. I had to buy one more CD, so I grabbed this compilation by Triumph Genus. I don't know if I've talked about them much. They're a Czechoslovakian, Czech Republic, black metal band. They have that kind of Eastern Bloc rasp to them. Very, like, stoic sounding with a barked vocal. They almost sound like a Blazeworth Hall band. And this is a compilation of 6 tracks from various things in between albums. But I love this fucking band. They're very mysterious and eerie to me. But I can listen to this over and over and over. I was lucky to put out a t-shirt for them when they first came out with their first album. I got in contact with them via email, and they agreed to let me release a t-shirt for them on my old label, which was really cool, which sold out. You know, we printed, I don't know, 50 of them or something. They were going like that. So, Triumph Genus, nasty black metal, it's fucking fantastic. Okay, then I got a stack of CDs from a friend of mine. They got his hand on a bunch of bootlegs and sent them my way. So first we have Abruptum Evil. Of course, Abruptum is you've heard me talk about them. They are this Swedish black noise drone ambient synth project. You know, a band that wouldn't exist if there wasn't something like Throbbing Gristle or Genocide Organ. And it's a very nasty black metal version of it. But this is just, it's a bootleg of that particular release, one-sided insert. But it's great to have this. I love Abruptum, so it was nice to have that show up in my mailbox. So then, Burzum Ask, EP, 3 songs. Again, it's another just CD bootleg I picked up. One of these things that, like, it was there, I wanted it, I grabbed it. I haven't opened this yet, but it's the Black Blood, the demo that preceded the album. I'm not crazy about the Priest of Satan as much as a lot of people are, but I've yet to listen to Black Blood, so I may dig it. But I like Priest of Satan, I just don't like it as much as I thought I would, and as much as other people do. But so I took the opportunity to grab this. And then Master's Hammer, The Fall of Idol, demo 1990. I've always been kind of a fair weather Master's Hammer fan. I have Gymnasty Occulta and Ritual LPs. that fell in my lap when I was working with Nuclear War Now when they reissued them. But again, this fell in my lap. I wanted to grab it and check it out. I've never heard this material. Then my buddy Chad Davis, we have been working on some stuff together. I've known Chad for a really long time. Of course, the band's Hour of 13, and he's been in a bunch of bands over the years. These are a couple of his projects. Magister Occulti is an ambient project. 3 really long ambient songs. And he said that this is definitely like turn the lights off, get quiet, and just sink into this. So I'm looking forward to it. And then this is another project of his, Ikka, I-K-K-A-H. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think that these are black metal. They may be like black ambient. I'm not sure. I haven't opened them or listened to them yet. But me and Chad have been trading some stuff back and forth, so he threw these to me, and I can't wait to check them out. So Chad's a really good buddy of mine. Love that dude. So then, let's see here. One more. These fell in my lap. Deicide live in England, 1992. This is a live set of Deicide on CD that sounds really, really good. And I had a hookup that sent me some copies of these. Petulant Christ Records, which I'm sure is just some fake bootleg label. But I got a handful of these. Some of you guys may have seen me pimping them out on Facebook, and I sold them. But if you're getting one, good for you. Maybe I can get some more, we'll see. So, it sounds fucking phenomenal though. Then, my buddy Wayne. You cannot have a video from me or Ben and not talk about Wayne Sarantopoulos. So, first, this is Wayne's band, Messiah. You heard me talk about Wayne's other band, Conjureth, recently. Conjureth is his new current death metal band he's been working on, which is really, really killer. Messiah is more of like a funeral doom band that he's been doing since like 2013 or 14. And he recorded a couple of demos. And then during all this corona nonsense and being quarantined, he recorded a full length. This is everything he ever recorded, because he had never released anything physically. So he put this together himself. I did the layout for it, but he pressed it, had it pressed himself, and it's every release. There's all the lyrics for everything. And it's kind of unconventional funeral doom. It's real spacey and otherworldly. It's different, but it's grim and eerie and fucking nasty. And I put it on the other day while I was doing something just to check it out, and I listened to every bit of it. It's 80 minutes long. 80 minutes of fucking nasty funeral doom. It's killer. So then, at the beginning of the quarantine, which I was never quarantined. I've been at work for the past 3 months. I've worked day in and day out like normal. But the end of March, my wife's mother died. And her and my son spent about a week down at her parents' house helping her dad and her sister out doing things. And I found myself here home alone at night. So I started playing drums, which I haven't done in years. And wrote some riffs and put together some songs and named it, gave it a band name of Sacular. S-A-C-C-L-A-R, Sacular. And definitely in that like cerebral rot, fetid vein, just gross, carcassy death metal. I can't play drums real fast, so it's kind of slow, it's kind of mid-paced. But I put together a demo tape. And then Wayne said, well, I've got this project kind of in the same vein I've been fucking around with. Let's put out a split. So that became this. This is Sarcosium and Sacular. It's a split. My side is called Execrance Odium, and his side is Carnal Ooze. We both did like 6 songs. It's a full-length release. So my side's 14 or 15 minutes. His side is 14 or 15 minutes. We put this out ourselves. I did all the layout. We split the cost of pressing them. These are available to buy on either of our Bandcamp pages. But if you like the kind of stuff that Maggot Stomp's been doing or Sewer Rot's been doing, this is definitely up your alley. I had a lot of fun writing and recording this stuff. I did the demo in a day, and I did these 5 songs over a span of a few days. It's rough around the edges. I'm not a great drummer, and you can definitely hear that, but I think it fits the kind of music I was trying to go for. And Wayne's stuff is just fucking gross, man. He does the nastiest, like, gurgly vocals on it. But definitely check this out if you're a fan of old gory death metal. So Sarcosium and Sacular. Okay, then real fast, I got a care package from my buddy Andrew. Andrew, I can't remember your YouTube name, but I know you watch my videos, and I know we're buddies on Facebook. I posted on Facebook the other day, I was talking about guilty pleasure albums, and I mentioned this pop-punk record by the Ataris, So Long Astoria. And it's just this super saccharine sweet, poppy, kind of emo record from the early 2000s that I used to listen to. I used to hear it at work, at this job. I used to work for Spencer Gifts, the store that sells dildos and fuck you t-shirts. And a buddy of mine used to listen to this record all the time in there, and I grew to love it. So I mentioned on Facebook the other day liking it, and Andrew was like, I've got a copy, you want it? And he sent it to me. So he sent me a copy of it. There's the tray card and the jewel, the booklet and the CD. I got to put it in a jewel case. But that was really rad. I'm going to send him a care package, some stuff soon. But he sent me some other stuff too. Some demo, some compilation. Probably came out of a magazine. It's got Dream Theater and Voivod and Asphyx and Swashbuckler, Suffocation. So this is all over the place. Millennium by Monstrosity CDR, which is rad because I don't have that. A Communion 3-inch CD. I didn't know people were making those anymore. I have this Communion release, which is their demo. This is an instrumental rehearsal. I want to say that I have this release on tape or something similar to it. I don't know if my player will play a 3-inch CD, but that's pretty rad. So, they're a death metal band from Chile. And then he also sent me a couple of stickers. A Cathalist sticker, which I'm not a Cathalist fan, but I'll stick it on something. And a fucking Immolation sticker, which hell yeah, because I fucking love Immolation. So thank you, man. I got a box going out to you this week. So that's it, guys. I'm sorry that it's been 2 months. I'm sorry if I rambled in this video. I'm sorry for a different setup. I can't decide what I want to do for a background on these videos. So I just sat down in front of my records. I'm doing the camera different. I'm using the front-facing camera so I can watch myself on the phone. For the 2 years I've been doing this, I've always had my phone plugged into my computer and I'm watching the computer screens. I have it mirrored so I could use the back camera, which is better. But I'm going to see how this works because I have a light and all that bullshit. So if I get into doing these more, which I want to do, I'm going to upgrade and get a real fucking camera. I've been doing it long enough, especially if I can crest that 1,000 subscribers mark. I got about 150 to go. So help me push to 1,000 subscribers. And let's talk about this stuff. Let's talk about what you've been doing. Hopefully the world's going to get back to normal soon. As far as Corona goes, I have no comment about the other stuff. That's not what this channel's about. It's about music. And I hope that you can use this as an outlet to get away from that kind of stuff and listen to me ramble about black and death metal. So, leave comments. Let's talk about this stuff. I'll see you guys later.